Hello and welcome to Kev's English Podcast, Real English every week with your host Kev Dean.
Hello, it's Kevin here. Welcome to Kev's English Podcast number 25. Monday morning, 24 minutes after 10, so it's Monday, April the 7th. So, it's been a week or so since I did an episode of the podcast. I had a couple of students on in the last few weeks on from my students from italki, and we were talking about their exam success, OET, IELTS. I've had quite a few more people who've passed their exams since, but I can't seem to get many people back as guests for my podcast. Either they're too shy or they don't have time, which is unfortunate, because I think that their stories would be quite illuminating for you listeners, if indeed I do have any listeners. We'll see. Well, anyway, so I have no particular topic for today, just a bit of a ramble, maybe just let you know what I've been doing for the last few weeks, etc. So I've got half an hour before my first class starts of the day. I've got quite a few today on italki going into the evening time. Actually, let me think, who do I have today? I've got Free from China, I think, is it? Free from China, a Russian, and I've been doing some other stuff on different things with some Indian guys, another guy from China who's in Scotland, and I have a new student now in Iraq, which is interesting. I don't often get Iraqis on italki. I don't know why. I get lots of people from China and Europe, Russia, Ukraine, other countries, but not so many from the Middle East. Anyway, so as I probably mentioned before, I had an episode a week or so back about the 7 things you can do to make yourself smarter, I think it was called, because I was reading some article, because I read all the time, and this article popped up and it said 7 ways, I think it was 7 ways to make yourself smarter, what you should do every day, and it was like read, play an instrument, do some exercise, and so on. And as I mentioned at the time, that's usually what I try and do. So I've got my routine now. So in the week, right, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, I usually get up about 6:30, and I have at least an hour or so of reading, about an hour and a half of reading first thing. I'm currently studying theology, so that takes quite a lot of reading. I was actually looking at how many books I've read in the past year, and it must be maybe 60 now. I haven't counted them all, because I read a few more books in the last week or two. Yes, probably maybe 60 books. So that's not bad going, that's not bad. But some of these books are quite weighty, like 1,000 words, 1,000 pages, 1,400 pages. Some only a couple of hundred, so I can get through those, but there's a few of these theological texts which are pretty weighty. 1,000 pages, 1,400 pages. Anyway, so I usually do a bit of reading, outdoor gym at the back of my apartment block, so I go there 4 times a week. Lower body split. So Monday, chest and shoulders, Tuesday, legs and abs, and then day off on Wednesday. Thursday, back and biceps. Friday, legs and abs. So it's upper lower split. twice a week. I was going to do some exercise at the weekend, but I was a bit lazy, far too lazy. In fact, I didn't do anything apart from do some work. I had some students at the. Oh yeah, I'm available at weekends now, Saturday and Sunday. If anybody wants to get in touch for weekend classes. So a few classes anyway. So I do try and get some exercise done. Only half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, but it's usually intensive stuff, so that's quite good. Then I have some administrative work. It's like this morning, several of my students sent me letters for OET, for correction, so I did some proof reading there, sent them back with some comments. I'll be having lessons with them later in the week. Did a bit of cooking, because I usually get all my food prepared, pre-cooked. You know, I was reading, and I've seen lots of videos, these fitness influencer guys, I'm sure you've seen them on YouTube. They always talk about the importance of meal preparation, meal prep, you know. So I usually prep several days worth. And so I just actually just made it a little while back. Minced beef and pak choi with various bits of vegetables in. That's going to be something for me to eat at dinner time. So did some meal prep. Going to do some housework a bit later in between lessons. I've got some ironing to do, a bit of vacuuming. It's pretty much a domestic here. I don't have anybody else, only me, so I'll be doing that. A bit of cleaning, a bit of housework, some ironing. I did all my laundry yesterday. Not very exciting stuff, but you know, that's how it is. Anyway, evenings, I like watching films. Now, I was talking to one of my students on italki, and she said to me about she wanted to do a degree in film studies or in media studies, and I was explaining to her, I says, yeah, I'm a big fan of films. So what I decided to do in the last week or two, I've made a list of all the films, because I usually watch maybe 2 or 3 films a night. It just goes to show you what an exciting life I have here. But anyway, 2 or 3 films. I was just counting them up, and it's 55 films in about a month, I think. Maybe a month, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe a month. So that's 55 films. That's not bad going, not bad going. Because I cover a wide variety of that stuff. I was watching one last night, Valley of the Kings, 1954, with Robert Taylor, one of my favourite American actors. Robert Taylor, Eleanor Parker. It's an Egyptian kind of Indiana Jones kind of idea. That was good. I actually saw an excellent Chinese film, Love Never Ends, or War I Ni, which is I Love You, but that's the original title in Chinese. Came out 2023. About a couple of pensioners, 60-ish, who fall in love, etc. That was quite touching. A little bit sad at the end, but quite interesting film. I saw that at the weekend. There's some new films out. A Working Man, Jason Statham's new film. Novocaine, another new film. Saw both those. Saw Captain America 4, Brave New World. That's a new one as well. Last Breath. What was that about? I've seen so many films. Last Breath. I think it was Last Breath. Was that a Chinese film? I can't remember. I think it was. Anyway, so I saw Exodus, Fight or Flight. That wasn't bad. Ah, yeah, Fight or Flight. That's a new one. Josh Hartnett, the American actor. So I've seen a few new films. Working Man, Novocaine, Fight or Flight, Last Breath, The Gorge. That's a new one as well. Came out this year, last year. Anyway, so yes, I'm not going to go through all of the list, but it's pretty extensive. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I've gone through quite a few films. I'm going to watch some more. I started watching an excellent film last night, The Prosecutor, with the Chinese Hong Kong action star Donnie Yen. I can't remember what his name is in Chinese, but he's quite famous. He was in John Wick 4. He was a blind assassin in the last John Wick films. For those of you who don't know who he is, and you probably should, Donnie Yen. So this is in Chinese, and he's a prosecutor, so he's an ex-cop and he's now working as a lawyer. And so there's quite a lot of courtroom scenes, drama, but there is some action. There's quite a few action scenes where he gets to beat people up and show off his martial arts skills. It's a bit of a lengthy film. It's nearly 2 hours, which is a bit long for a Donnie Yen film, but there's all these courtroom scenes. So anyway, I'm going to be watching that tonight. Speaking of martial arts, I saw a film called Bangkok Dog, which came out last year. Saw that at the weekend. I never heard of it before, but there's this new martial art guy in it, and he's pretty good. I think he was in that Everything Everywhere All at Once with Michelle Yeoh 2 or 3 years back. I think he was a fight stunt coordinator in that, but he's in this, and he's pretty physical. He is pretty good. Bangkok Dog 2024 came out last year, so you can watch those. Anyway, yeah. So I'm just having a look here. I've been watching films from the 1930s, what's that, 30s, 50s, 40s, 60s, 70s. Anyway, all different genres and kinds of film. What I like to watch. There's a couple of websites where you can stream. So I usually go on there, and there's new films daily. So there's a backlog of films which I have a scroll through, or there's some new films that I like to watch. I'll be watching some more films tonight once I finished with my students. Yeah, once I finish talking to my final student of the day, I'm gonna get something to eat on, and then get some films watched. And that's my super exciting day. The same every day, really. But I like to think I'm making some kind of progress, though. I'm reading, learning new stuff every day. And as for the music part, like I mentioned before, I was learning some new guitar riffs at the weekend, so I'll probably have a bit of a practice of that a bit later on. Anyway, so as I say, not so interesting. And I also watch videos on YouTube. I try and keep up with the current world events and what's going on in the world of politics and etc. But I won't talk about those today. But anyway, yeah, I'll wrap it up now because I need to get sorted out. My students coming in a bit, and I want to get prepared to sort her out. She wants to take IELTS in July, so we need to work on her speaking. So that's something I'm going to be be getting on with. Anyway, bit of a ramble for today, just a bit of a, you know, no particular topic. But as I keep saying, if anybody has any topics you want me to cover or talk about, don't forget you can contact me anytime. All the links are below wherever you're listening, if anybody is listening to my tripe. You can contact me and maybe I can talk about something else. So anyway, I say this was just something to tide us over until I get some new guests or topics. I have to say I respond better when people actually write to me and say, Kev, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? Then that gives me some inspiration. Anyway, keep listening, keep doing your studying, keep working on your English. It'll all work out in the end, I guarantee. Okay, I'll see you next episode. Bye for now.